So Limerick have annihilated Tipperary 227 to 18 points, and realistically the scoreline only flattered Tipperary because Limerick were just so dominant throughout. And the main thing that been talked about afterwards was Peter Casey's injury, which came after 50 odd minutes, just when he was burying the ball into the back of the net and piling further misery on Tipperary. And to see his leg dangling in an unnatural position was it was stomach turning to watch, and imagine for his family it was just dreadful. And you just would hope that he has a speedy recovery, because it's terrible for a person just on a personal level, but of course for Limerick and his family and just the joy of watching him play. He really is one of those truly exceptional players. And what some of the torture that he put Tipperary through today, you just hope he can come back, and that this isn't one of those injuries that has a bigger impact than just, a season out or so, or so forth. And yeah, just hopefully he's okay first and foremost. But just in terms of the game, as the second half wore on, and Limerick went through one of their textbook purple patches against Tipperary. We've seen it time and again where they're just able to turn it on. The 16-point turnaround is obviously one that really stands out, but even the 2019 Munster final, which it was one-way traffic after the first 20 minutes of that game. There was a run of 272 points midway through the second half in this game, and it turned what had been, was looking, when there was 4 points between them at that stage, it was looking like a bit of a close shave, and it just turned into a decapitation. And Liam Cahill afterwards, he's kind of talking in terms of like, you plan one thing and then the players go out and none of it's really executed. I think that can of course happen in sport, but when you pair it up with the league semi-final against Clare and long spells of the league match with Limerick before that, when, to be fair, Tipperary kept going all the way till the end and brought it back to within a point, but the signs were there that Tipperary just cannot keep with this Limerick team. And a point I'd make about Limerick is, you had Aaron Gillan with his brilliant goal from 20 yards. Maybe that could have been saved, but just a brilliant shot. You look at how they set up, just so good. And like Tipperary often looked up the pitch, and there was nowhere really to put the ball. And when they went short, they got turned over. And so often the puck outs were just spoiled by Limerick's brilliant zonal system, and then their use of the ball. But to come back to it, a couple of guys got, great scores. Tom Morrissey got some fine points. Adam English came on and got 4, which was more than all the other Tip starting forwards put together. And you'd be thinking, right, who played that brilliantly for Limerick? Who was 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, so on and so forth. And it's just that their system and their team play is 10 out of 10, and that separates them from everybody else. So somebody might look like they're only a 7 out of 10 because they haven't produced a few, worldly moments. But that would be going away from what they're trying to do, which is that everyone does their job simply, without fuss, keeps the ball moving until somebody has the ball running at goals with no one really around them, and they're popping it over the bar. And they just did that throughout the game and put up a massive scoreline, a huge scoreline. They created 51 scoring chances to Tip's 34, so an extra 50%. It was an annihilation. And whether Tipperary can come back from this, the psychological blow of this defeat, and I'm still only walking away from the Gaelic grounds, which is in the background there, you can probably see some of the floodlights, but the psychological damage of this is going to be hard to recover from that, because Tip have a few lads that can come back from injury, maybe Cahill Barrett, Conor Stapleton, Barry Heffernan, Seamus Kennedy obviously won't. Dan McCormick wasn't used today, and people might say Bursley biased, but it seemed a strange one not to use him in, considering he's a fighter, and that's what Tip needed in this game. But not to dwell too much on that. Tipperary have a big turnaround in a very short space of time against Waterford at Walsh Park, and to get a victory there or a result there is, after the manner of that, it just seems a little bit unlikely. But that's what they'll be looking to do. Whereas Limerick, the drive for 5, who can stop it? I'm not sure anybody can.